Hello. I just want to say hello to the Five Fish Fangirls. No, that's wrong. I want to say hello to the Five-ish Fangirls. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Yes,
correct.
that's
Anyway,
correct.
hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. That's five hellos to the Five Fish-ish Fangirls. Bye.
You are listening to the first ever episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. We are 5 women with an internet connection and a lot of squee. Welcome everyone to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast, and since this is our very first episode, I think introductions are in order, so we will go in alphabetical order around our virtual table here, starting with Brittany.
Hi, I'm Brittany. I'm from Taos, New Mexico.
I'm Chrissy. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah.
I'm Holly from Wisconsin.
I'm Michelle from Ontario.
I am Rachel from Indianapolis, Indiana. And as if you may figure it out, we are all from all over the country, and we are recording this using Skype and QuickTime and other sorts of technology that we can get our hands on to make this work as best as possible. So with any luck, this will go smoothly, and you guys are willing to stick around and listen to us regardless.
Like we said in the introduction, we're fangirls with Squee, and that's about it.
Pretty much. This is not a podcast on a shoestring budget. Yeah, we are not on a shoestring budget. We are on no budget.
But it's okay, because we still got things to say, so we're gonna say them.
Exactly.
And it's gonna be totally awesome.
Exactly. So now that we've got introductions and that nice little disclaimer out of the way, I guess the best thing to do is probably explain why the heck we're doing this in the first place and how we all found each other, considering we are scattered all over the country and in some cases in a different country.
Wave, Michelle, you're our lone Canadian representative.
Yes.
Yep.
So, well, we all have something mutual in common. We all found each other from being listeners to the Traveling the Vortex podcast. I started listening a year-ish, 2 years ago. Something along the lines. I think it's almost 2 years now. Year and a half-ish. About the same time I started getting into Doctor Who. You guys, do you remember about when you jumped into listening?
Well, I started...
Well,
oh, go ahead. Who was that?
Sorry, Christy, go.
Oh, well, I started listening soon after the boys started the podcast back in 2011. I was fairly new to Doctor Who, and I was looking for some cool podcasts to listen to, and all the podcasts I found, well, not all of them, but most of them were from people who'd been watching for years and years and years, and I enjoyed them, but I didn't really know. I kind of felt like I didn't have all that background information. So, I wanted something that was kind of more for a newbie. So, and Traveling the Vortex, if you've listened to Traveling the Vortex, is 2 guys, Glenn and Sean, who have been fans of Doctor Who forever, and they're introducing a friend, Keith, to Doctor Who for the first time. And so those early episodes where Keith was being, introduced to this whole thing, and I was kind of in that same boat. And so I listened to it, and I actually wrote a blog post about it, and was like, hey, this is a great podcast, people should listen to it. And I just kind of, the guys are very approachable and very friendly, and I felt like I could, talk to them, and all of their audience, including the 4 ladies that I am recording with right now, we're all very approachable and friendly, and just kind of felt like I wasn't looking up to, this great big monolithic, big name fan sort of thing, and it was kind of fun. And so it was just kind of from there, from doing Friday Night Who and our tweet-alongs and some convention travels, we've all kind of met and become friends, and it's been a lot of fun. And so somehow or another we were inspired, I guess, to start this podcast, and we figured it out. It's been a while, and now we're all here. So I'm going to let someone else talk for a while.
I can hop in. Kind of like Chrissy, I was in the same boat. You, Doctor Who, wanted to find some podcasts. Found Traveling the Vortex probably around episode 12. Caught up. Can't remember when I sent my first feedback in, but it was just like what we're doing right now. Great group of friends. You could voice your own opinions and still be able to have a laugh and talk afterwards if differing views.
Well, I do remember when I sent my first feedback in because it was for their 50th anniversary. So I started listening shortly before that, and I pretty much mainlined their first 40-something episodes, and then sending feedback for the 50th. And I started with Friday Night Who around that time. I remember they did the 3 R's of the dogs: Resurrection, Revelation, Remembrance. So I joined in Friday Night Who for, I think, Resurrection has Revelation, so I skipped that one, and then I was back on for Remembrance. So, and I think I found them pretty much the same way. I was looking for Doctor Who podcasts to listen to. So, yeah.
All right, I guess I can go now. Well, same with you guys. I wanted to listen to some Doctor Who podcasts. I had some that I was listening to, but they were either didn't go on anymore, or they were really professional, and I couldn't really get a good vibe from them, I guess. And then I found Traveling the Vortex actually the same weekend as Keith and Sarah's wedding, which was neat. And and I was really enjoying listening to the podcast, and I mainlined, I think it was 87 episodes before that. And then I started Friday Night Who the next week with the greatest show in the galaxy. And I guess that's about it.
Y'all are lucky you jumped in sooner. You didn't have to mainline us.
I think I mainlined 5 of them.
Yeah, I jumped in. Ooh, actually, it's only been about a year for me, because I remember my first Friday Night Who. They were doing Trial of a Time Lord, and at the same time, I remember tweeting something about how I was getting all Britished out because I was doing Friday Night Who for the first time. I think I was right before I was going to see Paul McCartney in concert, and I think it was the same time that everybody was on Baby Watch with Catherine. Princess Kate waiting for her to go into labor and give birth to the new heir to the throne, and so and Prince George is getting ready to turn a year old. So it's only been about a year for me. So it was. I don't know what episode number they're on now, but I know I loved it so much I wanted to listen to all of them. So I went back to 1 and mainlined. I think I mainlined 150 episodes or something like that. Yeah,
wow.
It was. They all looked at.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Speaking as one who writes in feedback on a regular basis, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's what everybody kept telling me. Why are you doing this to yourself? And I probably could have got by without listening to the older episodes, but actually I'm glad I did, because I would have missed out on learning about the guys and learning, hearing your guys' feedback and learning about you guys. And
that's true.
Also just some really funny stuff.
Oh, yes.
I would have missed out on.
Well, Oh, go ahead, Brittany.
I was going to say, and you would miss out some of the long-going jokes.
Oh yeah, rain
Those two.
gutters and
That too.
all their tangents.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, you know, even though we're all Doctor Who fans, and that's how we sort of came to be together in this podcast, something Traveling the Vortex does a lot is, as we mentioned, tangents, and it's not just about rain gutters and home ownership and whatever else. Mattresses was last week, but
That's all Glenn.
That's all Glenn. We also talk about, I mean, they talk about movies and TV shows other than Doctor Who that they talk about. And so that's kind of what we wanted to branch out into some of our other favorite things, because we can't just pin ourselves down to just one thing. We want to have more conversation and more, we have a lot of Squee about a lot of different things. And you're probably seeing our logo either on our website or on YouTube, whatever you're watching this on. And if you see our little spirally thing, if we're keeping that same logo, we've got several different things that we're into.
And that's just a small cross section of the fandom.
That's what we could fit on the logo.
Yes.
So, you know, we want to kind of encompass all those different things that we want to talk about and cover. So kind of be more current events in those fandoms sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where it goes. But yeah, like our title reflects that we're all Doctor Who fans. It comes from the 5-ish Doctors reboot, which was the 50th anniversary after special, I guess you'd call it, that Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Paul McGann, and Sylvester McCoy put together. And since there is 5 of us, but like I said, we're all in different places. There might be times when we only have 3 of us or 4 of us. And there will be, there's 5-ish of us, I guess. I don't know. Someone else talk.
There's supposed to be 5, but more than likely, for one reason or another, you know, because we are all over the country and therefore different time zones and we all have jobs and everything. If somebody can't join in, they become Tom, essentially. If you're familiar enough with Doctor Who, you'll know that the 5-ish Doctors reboot, why Peter Davison named it that, is a reference to the 5 Doctors, which was the 20th anniversary special.
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be Doctors 1 through 5. And Tom Baker decided to back out, very close to them filming. And so it's the 5 Doctors, but Tom's not in it other than stock footage they used from Shada.
Yep.
So when Peter Davison came up with the idea to do this spoof, essentially, for the 50th anniversary last year, he called it the 5-ish Doctors, probably knowing all that Tom was not going to be in it. So it became the 5-ish Doctors.
And they did use the stock footage, and they used a voice sound alike to have Tom's voicemail say, "I'm stuck in the sodding vortex again." Yes. So leave a message. So at one point, one of us may be stuck in the sodding vortex again.
Yes. So, but we'll always try to have as many of us here as possible.
Q&A today, and he mentioned that they tried to, but it didn't work out, and I think it was going to be the 5 Doctors reboot, but then they couldn't get a hold of Tom.
Yeah.
Because of Tom actually being in the special.
Oh, Tom.
Tom is very set in his way. He does what he does, and you know, when you're 80 years old, I'm sure that's your prerogative.
It's true.
Yes. So we're not going to knock Tom Baker for anything.
We're not. Yeah. No. Of course not. No.
Yeah. But that's our homage to.
But it made the 5-ish Doctors that much more funny.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
If you've not
Tom
seen
was
it,
actually in the special, and the others made the 5-ish Doctors, which was just as important and just as appropriate and just as fun as anything else that they did for the 50th anniversary. So. We joke and we kid, but we love it all.
Speaking of stuff for the 50th anniversary, at the Q&A with Sylvester, he mentioned that while they were filming the Five-ish Doctors, like the part when they were in the Cardiff studios, someone got them to sign the 50th anniversary special script, and they noticed that Tom had already signed it. So he must have signed it when he did his secret little whatever.
Probably.
So Michelle, tell everybody where you were today. Obviously, it was at a convention, but
yes, I was at the Niagara Falls Comic-Con. So that's in Niagara Falls, Ontario, at the Scotiabank Convention Center. I was only able to go for today, and I didn't get to the convention center until like 2 in the afternoon. So I basically went in, got my hand stamped. I did a quick wander around the dealer's room, and then I went to find the room for the Sylvester McCoy Q&A, which was at 3. And then I got in line for that, and it was really good because, like, you know how I'm thinking about not keeping Sylvester on stage for very long.
oh yeah,
at the Q&A I went to today, I think he was on stage for like less than a minute.
I think that's a new record for Sylvester.
what does he do? Like dive into the crowd and do like a mosh pit or something?
Grabbed the mic, and then he started going up and down the aisles and getting people to ask questions.
Oh my gosh!
So,
Sylvester.
Oh, we love you, Sylvester.
Yeah,
and like someone asked him about music, and he went on for a good 5 minutes and described Matt Smith as an Afghan hound. And I took a video of that. So,
well, he did look like one before he shaved his head.
Yeah.
That's very true.
yes. Because he was talking specifically about like the 50th anniversary, like for the Five-ish Doctors.
Oh yeah.
With the met. So, and how he came bounding up and to meet everyone. So,
Sylvester.
I have that on I recorded a video with that for that, like a record of that part. So hopefully that we'll be able to put that up somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure we can get that like on
Yeah, we can upload it somewhere, and we'll put
website or somewhere.
We'll put it in the show notes so everybody can see that. So, well, it's nice to see that Sylvester has, or hear that Sylvester has, not worn himself completely out yet doing his grand tour of the United States, because I saw Sylvester last weekend here in Indianapolis, and he did the exact same thing. He was on stage for probably a good 5 minutes, only because they brought up a couple of kids to play the spoons with him. Otherwise, he probably would have done the same thing. He would have grabbed the mic and just took off. But
he did play the spoons, but it was a ways into the panel.
Yeah, did he have him in the little case? Oh, I love that! I laughed so hard when I saw that. If you don't know, Sylvester it looks like a guitar case, but it's just big enough to carry 2 spoons. And he carries it around. It is so cute.
Perfect.
I was laughing so hard. Oh, goodness. That man, he cracks me up. If you get the opportunity to see Sylvester at a convention, do it. You will laugh so hard. Yeah. He is so
having been like
funny.
2 feet away from him, absolutely do it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I do know he's going to be at Fantasy Con in Salt Lake in July. It's over the 4th of July, which is funny because we also have WesterCon here this year, and I'm like, 2 cons in one city at one time. This will be interesting. I don't know that I'll get to go to either of them, but we'll see.
Fingers crossed that he comes to New Mexico in October. So I haven't heard, so hopefully.
Yeah, he needs to see all of us. He needs to see all of us. I mean, he was at Kansas City Comic-Con, so the guys from Traveling the Vortex have they were the moderators for his panel, and that was so funny. I had tears in my eyes. Oh my goodness! We'll put a link to that particular show as well for the audio, because they uploaded the audio from that panel, and we'll put a link for that in the show notes as well.
That is worth the listen.
It'll give you a good idea of what a panel with Sylvester McCoy is like,
and what you're missing out on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting tears just thinking about it. Yeah, so, whew, yeah.
Well, there's a pretty good flavor of what this podcast is going to be all about.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll share, if we go to conventions, we'll make sure to share that. We'll, the kind of things you can expect from us. And obviously, as we go and record more episodes, we'll figure out the flow and all this a lot better. But, you can expect things like, convention reports, movie reviews, TV reviews, vacation reports, that are not convention related. You never know. Just whatever strikes our fancy.
Whatever topics of conversation are the rest of fandom is talking about, we will discuss.
Exactly. So.
Yep.
And we will,
and definitely book reviews if we get to them. If I have anything to say about it.
Yes, our resident librarian.
Yeah.
Chrissy's our resident librarian, although Brittany is a non-professional librarian.
She's support staff. We need those.
Yes.
Hopefully by the end of June, I will be an official one.
We'd have two official librarians.
I was going to go into library, but then I decided I wanted to go into TV instead. So
that's awesome.
I took some online courses to become a library technician, but I dropped those when I started going to college full time to go into TV.
Awesome.
As it says in my bio.
Right.
So that's the sort of thing you can expect from us, and tangents galore, I am very sure, and lots of squeak.
Yes.
Lots of squeak.
Because it was squeeing that really brought us together. I think at least the three of us. It was squeeing. It was the 50th anniversary of the Doctor Who, and emergency. Emergency! All right, who did it? Confess. Who did it?
Who's this guy?
Go turn yourself in. I didn't do it. He found me.
I didn't do it. It's going from mine too.
Dang it. I'm going to have to go on the run again. Man, they are persistent, aren't they? They're after somebody.
Okay.
All right. It should be done now.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Everybody's okay.
Okay.
Nobody's been arrested?
What's that?
Nobody's been arrested, right? We're okay then. Okay. Nobody's in cuffs. We're okay. All right.
Okay, Holly.
Oh boy.
What?
Holly, we didn't hear much from you. What do you have anything you want to add, or?
Not too much. Maybe game reviews for games that we've played, be it board games, Doctor Who Legacy.
Oh, definitely, yes.
Oh.
Just don't expect any live recording reviews of Doctor Who Legacy, because it'll be the most silent podcast you've ever heard.
Yes.
I know some people do like live Let's Play stuff on YouTube. Yeah, we're not doing any of that.
Nope. If you want to see some live Doctor Who Legacy playing, we'll link to Twitch, the channel on Twitch, the Adipose TV.
Yeah, they do a really good job.
I love that. I try to go every week.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff that comes out of that.
Plus, you get codes if you watch.
Yes.
Which Brittany's really good about sharing.
Brittany's our code dealer.
Yeah. If Doctor Who Legacy codes were a drug, Brittany would be our dealer.
Yes.
Oh, bye. And who knows what else we'll decide to talk about. We'll probably, we'll have guests, I'm sure. We'll probably try and get the guys from Traveling the Vortex on here, and anybody else that wants to pop in and put in their
Yep.
2 cents worth.
And it's not just Doctor Who stuff. Should we go around and talk about some of our other fandoms, or do we not have time for that?
It was like, well, how much time do we have? No,
Or should we should save that for a surprise.
Yeah, well, no. If we want to go around the table here real quick and maybe just rattle off, a couple of your biggest fandoms that are non-Doctor Who related. So, and then we can obviously get into more detail as we get further down the line here.
Because even though Doctor Who's our main thing that brought us all together, we're a multi-fandom podcast. So
Yes.
hopefully we'll cover something for everybody at some point.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, should we go alphabetical again? Reverse
Sure.
alphabetical?
Sure.
Reverse alphabetical. That would start with you, Rachel.
That's fine. We can do reverse alphabetical. Change it up a little here.
Okay.
So, in my case, some of my other big fandoms are Disney. You will find out that I am the resident Disney expert. I have the movies, the TV shows, especially the theme parks. The theme parks are my biggest thing. I love vacationing at Walt Disney World. I would live there if they'd let me. So you will probably hear a lot of Disney from me. Besides that, I also am a huge fan of Marvel. Not necessarily the comic books, but the movies, and especially the ones that are considered part of the cinematic universe of the Phase 1 and now Phase 2 era. Not that I have anything against like the Spider-Man and the X-Men that are owned by other movie production studios, but mostly it's the Disney/Marvel cinematic universe, the Iron Man, Thor, the Avengers, that thing. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is part of that as well, so you will probably hear me talk a lot about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all the upcoming Marvel movies. Very excited for Guardians of the Galaxy to come out in August. So, other than that, not anything else that I'm a huge fan of. I love Harry Potter. I'm not fanatical about it, but I do love Harry Potter. And YouTube. I'm like YouTubers. I'm a big fan of watching YouTubers, the bigger name YouTubers, Rhett and Lang, the CTFXCs, Shaytards, people that vlog and have daily type shows, some beauty YouTubers as well. So I'll probably talk about some of that as well at some point. So those are the big things for me. So
Ruby.
So now it's my turn. So I'm also a little bit bigger. In fact, today at Niagara Falls Comic Con, I bought 3 Harry Potter necklaces, all relating to Ravenclaw, because that's a Ravenclaw. So, like, I've been sorted, like, on Pottermore and those sorting tests. I've gotten Ravenclaw pretty consistently. So, I bought some Ravenclaw necklaces at the convention. And I'm Supernatural. The season 9 finale was just So, and Star Trek. Getting into Star Trek. So, those are the big ones. I'm also watching Once Upon a Time.
That would be Chrissy. She's our oncer in the group.
Yeah, but Chrissy can tell you more about that because she's actually caught up on Once Upon a Time, and I'm still early season 3. I think those are my main other fandom. So
awesome.
Yeah. Holly,
it's your turn.
Boy. Okay, boy, fandoms. What part of a fandom am I not in? Big ones right now. Once Upon a Time Castle. And, oh, geez, I'm getting back in rediscovering Highlander, the series.
Ooh.
Yes. So those are my big ones, but I mean, Star Trek, Star Wars, Harry Potter, you name it.
You name it, you've done it.
Yes.
Awesome. I guess that's me then.
Chrissy.
So, Harry Potter was my first fandom. That was the first thing I ever discovered what fandom was, and online fandom and things like that. But growing up, I did all the Disney stuff. My dad got me into Star Wars when I was very young. Let's see, Lord of the Rings was a big one I did. And I was in high school, did go to all the midnight showings and dressed up, and I dressed up for Harry Potter as well. Recently, and book series, Hunger Games, Divergent, they're kind of my big ones right now. I'm really not into John Green stuff as much. I know A Fault in Our Stars just came out, but sorry, they might take away my bookworm card for that one. But anyway, I'm not big into realistic fiction. Anyway, I totally love Once Upon a Time, and I'm actually blaming Holly for getting me into it because I saw all her posts on Tumblr about it, and I was like, "Oh, what is this show?"
Be forewarned.
Yes. Yeah, Tumblr, I blame for a lot of this. But yes, Once Upon a Time, I have become an avid Captain Swan shipper, and it's almost ridiculous. Although I do like Outlaw Queen too, so we're good with that. If you these topics will come up eventually again, I'm sure, and you will learn all about them. Just be warned.
Yeah.
I've just started getting into Arrow. So far, I like it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel is amazing. I love all that. Castle. Person of Interest is another one I love. 24 Live Another Day is going on right now. Every week I do a little recap on my blog. I used to do it the day that it aired, but that was when I lived with my parents and they actually have TV. I only have Hulu, so I have to do it the next day when it comes online. But I always do those recaps, and they're a lot of fun. Yeah, if I kept listing them, I'd be here all night. So I'm going to call it good with that. And there will probably be more. Okay, Brittany.
Okay, so it's my turn, and you guys pretty much talked about most of my really big ones, but, like Holly, I have, been there, done that. I'm really getting into the new show Sleepy Hollow, which is
good one.
basically, I don't know how to explain it. Ichabod Crane coming into the future, basically, with other cool stuff going on. Yes?
I watched that for a bit, but I've been meaning to get caught up.
You should. But
I know. There was a while when I was watching it every week, but then I got busy, and now I need to get caught up.
I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, of course. This year is actually my 15th anniversary because I would know stuff like that. And
You
my
can't
last
see me,
name
but
makes
I'm
it.
applauding.
My last name makes it really awesome, me being a big Potterhead, as they're called. What else? I love Disney, of course. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do some self-promoting in every 2 weeks now. I do a Disney with Friends on Twitter, so come join. And not sure what next one is going to be yet. It's up to actually people. I guess we could put my blog post about that up for the poll.
Yeah, we can put a link to all that.
Yep.
Yeah. I love the Marvel, of course. I actually got the Lego Marvel for my birthday, so I've been playing that. Haven't gotten too far because I don't have the time. I've just got into the Divergent book series. I'm reading Insurgent right now. I'm about halfway through and absolutely loving it.
Yay!
And, of course, the Hunger Games, which I'm so proud of my little sister, because she's not a huge bookworm like I am. But I let her borrow my copy of the Hunger Games, and she's loving it. Which I just like, yes, go Haley.
Yay.
Awesome. See what else. I'm really getting, thanks to Keith, with his Flicks with Friends with the Planet of the Apes, I've been really getting into those movies, which are pretty neat. And that's about it for now. There's tons more, but like Kirsty said, I'd be here all night listening to everything.
And heaven knows what we'll get into, as time goes on, as new TV shows and books come out. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Exactly. I guess that's about it for me now. So
Cool.
I think that's a good introduction. I think for hopefully one or two listeners out there. I know before we even recorded this first episode, we already have someone who has claimed themselves as our number one fan.
And
So
you know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are, and
Exactly.
it is up to the rest of you to fight your way to take that title away from them. So.
Yes.
Yes.
We accept payments in chocolate.
Yes.
Yes.
Chocolate, digestive biscuits, and Jammy Dodgers, jelly babies. Just none of...
Anything sweet.
Yeah, pretty much.
For the most part.
Exactly. Nutella. So I think that's going to be it for episode 1, I think. References to stuff we'll put in the show notes. If you want to learn more about us, on our blog is an About Us page, and there is a bio for each of us, and each of us have included links to our personal social media sites and links to our everything, YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, whatever else we decide to sign up for will be linked as well. Everything at this point will be encompassed on the blog, and as we grow, we will spread out. So this has been episode 1 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. We do hope that you will stick around for future episodes. We would gladly love to hear feedback. We'll link to our email and our blog in subsequent social media, where you can hit us up with comments, questions, concerns, tangents. We'll take it all. But we shall sign off for this episode 1, now under our belts. Yay! Everybody give yourselves a pat on the back. You survived the first one. So now we're all going to say goodnight.
This is Brittany saying goodbye from Taos.
This is Chrissy from Salt Lake saying goodbye.
Molly from Wisconsin, good evening.
Michelle from Ontario, bye.
And I am Rachel from Indiana. Kildamage!
Keldamage.
You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.